We've been listening to our audience, and now we're going to come at you live and direct. Well, not so live. We already pre-recorded this, and we're going to edit it. But what we're going to do today is we're going to go over specific subject matter that pertains to either construction, finance, development, or technology is application to the real estate game. So first and foremost, let's get back to basics. One of the most important things out there to understand when you're in this game is how and why are we building buildings? What is the business of construction? People look at my hands and they see these calluses, but let me tell you, these calluses never picked up a hammer. I understand the business of construction. Now, why should you, the developer, the financier, all of the parties that are related to the real estate game, why should you understand the business of construction? Because number one, it's one of the largest costs in a total development cost that we speak about. Land, hard, soft, finance. Number one, hard cost. Usually in New York, maybe it's a land cost. Don't mind any noise in the background. That's how you know we're in New York City coming at you correct. Okay, so something that's super important, the business of construction. Why is that important? Well, number one, everyone always gets mad at the contractor. They're always upset. The project is behind. The cost overruns. Well, maybe if you understood how they were pricing your project, the contracts that are available, you would be a little bit less stressed out about it, knowing that all you're doing in retaining a contractor is mitigating risk. You're paying zone defense. People's perception, I call it the t-shirt theory, is as follows. When you retain a contractor, it's not like buying a t-shirt. I go into the store, I give the store $10, or maybe it's $50, maybe today for you kids out there it's $2.50 because you're getting those dope t-shirts. I give the $250, I now have a shirt. Done. That's what the cost is. Construction is not like that. Construction would be something like this. I go into the store, I take the shirt. I use the shirt for a month, then I pay you the $250 plus a markup for using the actual shirt. That's the paradigm of construction. So let's break it down even further. The most basic way in which we build a building is in a pyramid, not the love that you guys are used to, but a triangle. At the top of the triangle is the developer. Let's assume they already acquired the land. Then there's one line to the designer, the people who are going to put that project together on paper in 2 dimensions. Now it's 3 dimensions with some BIM software, but you get the understanding. Your architects, your engineers, your geotech engineer, MEP engineer, elevator consultant, exterior consultant, electrical consultants, any consultant that's required to create a design. Imagine there's one line from the developer to those designers. Then there's one line to a contractor over here, okay? Singular line. The person who's gonna execute whatever is being designed. And in between the 2 bottoms is a dotted line. What does that dotted line mean? They inherently have to work together, but they're not contractually obligated to each other. So those lines represent contracts, and then the dotted line, they should work together in the best way possible, setting yourself up for conflict. Why? Because when things aren't defined, there is inherently conflict. Okay, so now the designers design that asset, and then the builder's supposed to build that building with the dotted line in between. That is the basic paradigm of construction. And at the top is a developer. So the developer inherently is supposed to mediate between these 2 parties to get a building done. What does that mean? That means a developer isn't someone who just puts the deal together, raises the capital. They need to understand the way in which people are designing and what those 2-dimensional drawings will mean in the real world. And then they have to understand the business of construction and how the contractor actually makes his money, and then play mediator in order to get this symphony, in order to get this building built. Okay, so let's understand the flow of capital in this paradigm. So we've got the developer at the top. The developer first has to retain these designers. He has to raise the capital, what's called pre-construction or pre-development, get that approval out there and begin to get the design available to then bid to a contractor. So think about that for a second. You're the developer, you're making assumptions of cost, but there is no way in which you would know the actual cost because there's no way to translate information into actual cost. The architect's job is to design that building and all of the components of that building without any real information coming and being informed from the construction aspect. So you're paying inherently What's first? And we'll get over in another one. Zoning. What can I actually build there? What's next? What are we actually building? Design, 2-bed, 3-bed, is it multifamily, industrial, data centers, whatever that is. And yet you have no idea what that cost is. You're making an assumption of cost. So the language of construction to a contractor when asking them for cost has to do with having an actual plan. But if you have no plan yet and you're asking a contractor what the cost is and they give you a number and they're wrong, it's not necessarily their fault. But you underwrote to their number, but you had no design. So it's inherently backwards. That creates conflict.